What we really need to do is get ready for this next session, which is a session on how pDOOH can be the growth multiplier. And to address the gathering, we're now going to welcome all the way from Sydney, Australia. He's right here with us. Please welcome Supply Director, APAC Suppliers, Vistar Media, Matt Steffenson, who joins us on stage. Prior to joining Vistar, Matt worked as Senior Director of Demand Facilitation at SpotX, a global video advertising platform, and held media roles at Gem Media, Living Social Australia, and Network 10. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 25 minutes right here on stage, give it up. Matt Steffenson, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, really excited to be here today, guys. As stated, Matt Steffenson, so I lead the supply team at Vistar Media for APAC. Just first want to thank Rajiv and the team for inviting me out. It's been a great experience so far. So I've been with Vistar for about 3.5 years now, so it's been a really exciting journey. As just stated, prior to Vistar, I worked for an ad tech firm that specialized in online video and connected TV, or OTT as it was referred to earlier. So it was really fun to see that industry go from where it was over 10 years ago to where it is now. And I think the more exciting part for everyone in this room is with Programmatic Out-of-home, we're starting to see those same growth trajectories as well. So Vistar Media, we're the first Programmatic Out-of-home platform that was built. We're still the largest out-of-home platform as well for programmatic. So I guess take it back from the beginning, our founders who still lead the company today, prior to Vistar, they actually formed one of the very first programmatic buying companies called Invite Media. Invite Media was sold to Google back in 2010. That product morphed into what's now known as Google's DV360 product. That's the world's largest programmatic buying platform. They exited Google after the acquisition, and with all the outdoor signage turning digital at the time, bringing in programmatic into it was a no-brainer. So they launched Vistar Media in 2012, and with that was the launch of Programmatic Out-of-home as we know it today. So our mission overall is really, like everyone here, it's to grow the out-of-home category. We think by specializing in these three major traits is our way of doing just that. So when we're looking at targeting, enhancing targeting, increasing automation, and also enabling measurement. So when you're looking at our tech stack, so we do have an end-to-end solution from programmatic buyers, programmatic sellers, and also infrastructure for direct sales as well. So we have a DSP, that's for buyers, an SSP, supply-side platform, that is for sellers and media owners, and the ad server is there. It holds a multitude of functions, but primarily is there for inventory management and campaign trafficking from a direct sales perspective, and Cortex, which is our content management system. So looking at global adoption, we've, as a company, only just started expanding outside of the US under 5 years ago. We first kicked off with Australia, Canada, and the UK, but then the last 2 to 3 years, we've been a lot more aggressive in terms of our expansion. So we even acquired a company, a programmatic out-of-home company called Sage & Archer last year to help grow across Europe, and now we're live in over 20 countries. So I think one of the cool things that we've started to experience the last couple of years that we didn't see when there was only 4 countries live is lots of cross-country buying. So what I mean by that is we're starting to see campaigns that are planned and purchased in Singapore but delivered in other countries like Australia, UK, and the US, and vice versa. We're seeing campaigns coming out of China and into Australia and into Europe, and vice versa. So that's one of the incredible things that we're seeing is actually being part of a global company. So we're very fortunate enough to work with the leading media owners in every single market that we go into. And when we're looking at Asia Pacific overall, we're working with nearly 100 media owners now in the region, and it's expanding very fast. When we're looking at the Americas and in EMEA as well, that puts us to quite a few hundred as well. So what is programmatic? So there's probably a few programmatic experts in the room today, but we are going to talk a lot about just the fundamentals. But I still hope everyone can take something away with them. So programmatic, as just defining it for digital advertising, is really about the buying and selling of advertising via software. So when we're looking at online, over half the ads transacted online or via programmatic. So that, of course, projects a major opportunity for out-of-home. So looking at how it works. So similar to how cookies are used in the online world, we use GPS tracking to essentially form and establish how consumers are moving throughout their day. So, and we're seeing a massive shift. So the massive shift is looking at, from how campaigns are delivered in a traditional basis in digital out-of-home. So essentially, it's typically looking at one spot in the loop, played on repeat, throughout the duration of the campaign on a specific set of screens. When enter programmatic, it's more about delivering different screens at different times of the day based on those audience patterns. So people don't stay still. So that's why behavior matters. So essentially, buyers want to be able to target and deliver their messages in the moments that matter. And being able to utilize audiences and programmatic out-of-home is what gets them there. So continuing on about being targeted in your approach, so the utilization of audiences is used in probably roughly half of the campaigns that we see today. Buyers can actually bring in their own data if they want. So advertisers can bring in first-party data, or agencies can bring in first-party data. We're seeing a large shift towards that. And of course, there's lots of third-party audience segments out there as well. Probably the second most commonly used targeting parameter that we see is proximity location, or point of interest targeting, as we call it. So essentially, that is when you're targeting around physical locations. Essentially, if you want to be able to target every single screen in the country within 500 meters of every single McDonald's, that's very possible to do in programmatic out-of-home with just a few clicks. Another powerful one is weather trigger targeting. So that's being able to deliver different content when it's raining out, or when it's sunny out, or when it's storming out. And we're seeing quite a bit of usage there. Then just kind of getting back to the basics. Time of day, day of week. This is standard in the online world, and just moving into the out-of-home world just now. So looking at the core features of programmatic, they're typically executed in an auction-type marketplace, or they are executed in fixed-price private marketplace deals. So, and it is, when we're looking at auction-based marketplace, it is true programmatic, it is real-time. Every single ad that gets displayed through programmatic out-of-home, at least through our marketplace, there is an auction that is held for that ad spot to be delivered. So essentially, media owners will make their inventory available on an SSP, and then buyers can evaluate whether they want to bid on that inventory depending on that targeting criteria. So there's two main aspects, two main technologies within programmatic. So one being a demand-side platform, so that is the software for buyers, and a supply-side platform, so that's a software for sellers or media owner partners. So what is an actual DSP or demand-side platform? So again, that's the platform buyers will actually log in themselves, do this on a self-serve basis. They will plan out their campaigns. They will apply one of the targeting strategies, and they will activate that. And one of the real big benefits with programmatic out-of-home is they can activate a campaign within minutes. Once going live, the flexibility is there. So buyers are able to optimize on the fly, middle of the campaign. They can shift budgets from one media owner to another. They can pause the campaign if they want, or they can add more budget in at any given time. Alongside with that is real-time, up-to-date reporting. So reporting, you see a campaign that's delivered on a billboard, you'll see the reporting within the hour in the platform. So what is a supply-side platform or an SSP? So that is the platform for media owners. Essentially, at the highest level, it's there to enable a media owner's inventory to be eligible to be sold programmatically to programmatic buyers. So it's not just behind our DSP that this inventory can be purchased. It can be purchased behind omni-channel DSPs that we have integrations with as well. So we work today with about 25 different omni-channel DSP partnerships globally. So when I'm talking about omni-channel DSPs, I'm talking about these are DSPs, these are platforms that online buyers historically were using just to buy online display ads with. They've since shifted into buying online video and connected TV, or OTT as it's referred to. And now they're buying digital out-of-home as well. So some of the bigger names you would have heard of probably is the Trade Desk, so the largest independent omnichannel DSP globally, and Google's DV360 as well. So the benefits to buyers, top of mind, aggregate supply. So all the supply is accessible from one platform. It's efficient, it is flexible, it's easy to activate, and it is data-driven, and it is also measurable. So when we're looking to benefits for sellers, I mean, I could go on and on and on about benefits for media owner partners, but I think one thing that everyone cares about is its new revenue. That's what we're looking to bring into the equation. And of course, the revenue question, then I guess the first question that I'm always asked when we're speaking with a new media owner partner or if we're entering a new market is, will this cannibalize all of my direct sales efforts? And the reality is no. So they are complementary of each other. So essentially, the point of programmatic out-of-home is really to enable new buyers and bring them into the space. So it's been talked about already, but yeah, no secret, digital budgets are the biggest budgets, and they are increasing year on year. So what do we do as an industry to really help bring those digital budgets into the out-of-home space? It is, one of the tools is just being able to give these buyers the exact same tools that they're buying online with, they can now buy out-of-home ads in the physical world with. So again, how do media owners make money? How does it expand their existing revenue? For every single ad that gets played within programmatic out-of-home, media owners will typically make more from one ad play from programmatic as they would from direct sales. Of course, unlocks demand from new digital buyers. Media owners can be passive. You don't have to hire a team of experts to begin out in programmatic out-of-home. You can do it today. Another thing that's really important about it is you're able to maintain control over everything. And we'll dive into some of those aspects in a little bit. The overall story is programmatic is absolutely complementary to your direct sales efforts. So talking about impression-based buying, I know it's been brought up a little bit today, but again, when we're talking about traditional digital out-of-home delivery, it's in a playlist or a spot in the loop that's on repeat. When we're looking at impression-based delivery, it's essentially buying a set amount of people to view your ad. Impression-based delivery is what's used in programmatic out-of-home, and it's also what's used in online buying as well. So again, that's just another reason why it's an ease of transition from digital budgets, bringing them into the out-of-home space. So the flexibility isn't just there for buyers, it's also there for sellers as well. So sellers have the control to decide whether they want all buyers competing on price in an auction-based marketplace, or they can also give specific buyers or specific agencies or campaigns the priority over them with private marketplace deals. So protecting your value. As a media owner, you need to protect your value. Obviously, the biggest part of that equation is protecting your pricing. Just like direct sales, media owners have complete control of pricing within programmatic, at least within Vistar's platform. Looking at sizing in digital out-of-home. So I guess unlike online, where there are strict standards that have been brought out in the last number of years, there are no set sizes for digital out-of-home. So we, just in Australia alone, I think we're working with 300 to 400 different billboard sizes. So there are a few things we've done to help campaigns be delivered with ease without building out hundreds and hundreds of different creative sizes. One of them is just being able to have a very advanced planning tool specified for out-of-home. So buyers can pick and choose the most impactful creative sizes that's going to give them the highest reach across all inventory rather than having to build out every single spec. We also have a transcoding tool that automates and resizes on the fly to campaigns or to sizes that fall within a certain aspect ratio of a more standard spec. So media owners as well are in control. They're in control of what actually gets displayed on your screens at any given time. We have a few things that media owners can take control of this. First line of defense is creative restrictions. So media owners can make blanket category and advertiser restrictions across their entire network or on a screen-by-screen basis. So essentially, as alcohol is a pretty big category that gets blocked by a lot of media owners. As we see it, you can block that again across the entire network, or maybe you're just going to block it on specific screens, maybe because it's close to a school. And then the last line of defense is creative approvals. So every single ad that gets displayed on a screen that's coming through programmatic via Vistar, the media owner actually needs to see the creative in the platform and approve it before it's eligible to be live on the screen. So then measurement. I know measurement's been talked about a lot already today, but when we're looking again online, there's so many success stories because online is highly measurable and it's very easy to point out the ROI. Measurement is now really taking place within Programmatic Out-of-home, and we're seeing a lot of success stories with that. So some of the main ones we see that are being conducted are brand lift studies. So these are survey-based studies based off of people that were exposed to a Programmatic Out-of-home ad and then are delivered a survey. A really powerful one is foot traffic. So foot traffic is when we're looking at people that were exposed to a Programmatic Out-of-home ad, and did they actually end up in a physical location, such as a retail store, and then you're able to look at the uplift in sales. Online conversions, a fairly new one, but it's really exciting to see what we're looking at online conversions, very similar to foot traffic, where we're looking at the people, again, that were exposed to a Programmatic Out-of-home ad, and then actually being able to see if they actually went onto that advertiser's website or if they actually downloaded that specific app that was being advertised. So looking at a case study here, this is a US-based case study that we ran with Pepsi in conjunction with Walmart as well. So Pepsi was starting to sell a new line called Pepsi Nitro in Walmart locations. So the strategy was to target many venue types, as we call them, and they targeted within a 3-mile radius of over 3,000 Walmart locations across the US. So essentially, Pepsi brought in their own audience data segment that was looked at consumers that had purchased a similar product to Pepsi Nitro in the past. So they activated the campaign using that audience strategy, delivered the campaign in the right place in the right time. With the campaign measurement, they worked in conjunction with Walmart and were able to actually measure the sales uplift based off of Walmart's point of sale data. So the campaign had great results. The targeting efficiency exceeded their expectations. They had a store coverage of over 85%, and it drove nearly $3 million worth of sales for Pepsi Nitro with $166,000 worth of incremental sales value. So I guess moving along to how do you future-proof your network? So this is not just about enabling programmatic, but how do you manage or ensure you're still able to deliver on the campaign budgets of today, but also deliver on the campaign budgets of tomorrow. So when we're looking at this, we're looking at how does a media owner choose the right SSP, the right ad server, and the right content management system. So starting out with the programmatic connection or the SSP, of course you need to be sure that your SSP partners can operate in an auction-place market, such as open exchange or private marketplace deals. That you need to be able to have control, complete control over pricing, complete control over what ads get delivered on your screens at any given time, and ensure that it's actually real time. It's not about booking a screen for a day and calling it programmatic. It is true real-time auctions. Then looking at a flexible ad server. So when we're looking at ad servers today, again, ad servers are the technology essentially that was brought from the online world and bringing it into the physical out-of-home world. What we're seeing a lot of convergence of is less campaigns being trafficked directly into a CMS and moving into the ad serving world. So when you're looking at an ad server, you should be able to deliver your standard loop-based campaigns from a direct sales perspective, It should also be able to deliver impression-based campaigns, again, from a direct sales perspective. And of course, it should be able to manage programmatic campaigns and multiple SSP partners in an efficient manner. And of course, just making sure you're choosing the right CMS to equip yourself for the future. Of course, it needs to be able to be integrated seamlessly into an ad server that can host all your programmatic campaigns. And again, like I said, when we're really looking at it, content management system, so essentially we're looking at a player plus an advanced networks operations tool. We see them sitting separately to where campaigns are actually being trafficked in the ad server because they are very different tools and we treat them as so. And again, when we're looking at, I guess, the market maturity evolution, when we're entering a new market or we're working with a new media owner partner, it isn't just an overnight get-rich-quick scheme. It does take time to develop every single media owner in every single market we enter. So really, breaking down to 3 main phases. So what we've seen so far today is really like the early entry phase. So from there, we're looking at education on both the buyer and the sell side, onboarding media owners onto the platforms with integrations and going live with them. Adoption and growth. So that's when we're starting to see the very first campaigns come through. It's very exciting, and it's great to see the new advertisers coming through that media owners typically have not seen before. And of course, more education goes with that. And then next, when we're looking at expanded opportunities. Expanded opportunities to me is really where programmatic is now a significant part of your overall revenue mix. And then really the next question we always get is, how do we make more money with programmatic out of home? So again, you don't have to invest in a sales team for programmatic. You can be passive the entire time and your growth will grow organically. But if you want to make the investment, you want to take more than your fair share of programmatic out of home dollars, you can do so in 1 of 2 ways. You can transform or hire a dedicated specialist or a small team of specialists if you're a large company. Or you can educate your entire sales team or your entire company as well. So just to be able to have conversations on programmatic with buyers or be able to respond to an RFP if a buyer wants to go programmatic. Oftentimes what we see is a buyer will want to split the campaign as well. They might want to say, okay, we're keeping the direct budgets that we gave last year, but we want to put 20% on top of that with programmatic. So you got to be able to field those questions. So overall, what's the takeaway? Really, again, the major point of it is to grow the out-of-home category. Enabling tools for buyers and sellers for programmatic out-of-home is beneficial to both the markets, and really is about uplifting the industry overall. That's me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Matt. And with that, we want to say a big thank you for finishing a little ahead of time. We're going to welcome on the stage Ms. Deepa Gupta, Vice President, Moms Outdoor Media Solutions, to kindly join us on stage with the questions that you've chosen right now. So 3 questions from the many that have come in right through the OAC app. Once again, bringing your attention to how important it is to have your phones downloaded and installed with the OAC app for these 2 days. Welcome.
Very good evening, everyone. That was quite an insightful presentation, Matt. I have a lot of questions, but before that, I just want to raise few points. Definitely, it's a future, programmatic digital out-of-home. Wonderfully presented by Vikram this morning, how precise targeting will help. We had a lot of discussion how automated this is and how it can save a lot of manpower, and we have a more data-driven approach and all of that. I still feel we have a long journey, at least in India right now, where we are selling a digital per slot, not programmatically. We need to be infrastructure ready, but I see a future here. So let's hope for the best. And with that, I'll go to the questions. There are more than 25, 30 questions that I've got. I could shortlist 3. So the first one is from Mr. Mohit Gupta. Is there a different planning and measurement approach for fixed pDOOH like billboards versus mobile pDOOH like public transport? If yes, then how?
So is there a difference in measurement for programmatic out-of-home campaigns versus traditional out-of-home campaigns?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they can be taken along the same lines. Again, we've done campaigns that are not just programmatic out-of-home campaigns, but we've done campaigns that have looked at a programmatic slice of the campaign and also a traditional slice of the campaign. So I think some of the campaign measurement tools that are out there today probably lean themselves more heavily to programmatic out-of-home, but there certainly is still measurement availability now for traditional as well. I think some of the main parts that we probably like to look at is like, okay, we're activated an audience, so it's displaying at different times of day, different locations, versus traditional where it is typically in the same location throughout the duration of the campaign. So that's where some of those measurements will probably lean themselves heavier to programmatic, but it's certainly possible now with all, especially the GPS mobile device location technology that's there to measure both.
Okay.
Nobody wants to see that from me.
I'm really sorry, I was told 10 times, I've forgotten. Right. The second question is from G Money. Compared to fewer number of publishers in international markets, which makes the pDOOH more organized and controlled, what do you think Indian publishers who are large and fragmented should do to marry pDOOH, which includes acceptances from the marketers too?
Yeah, so the question is, India is very fragmented. How can we make programmatic work essentially on both sides of the equation? Is that right?
It should be like marketers too should accept it. So
yeah, so essentially, to be honest, programmatic leans itself better into markets that are fragmented. Of course, as a platform, it takes a lot longer to onboard 200 publishers as it is to go into a market where there's like maybe 3 or 4 major publishers. But programmatic out-of-home does lean itself a lot heavier into markets that are fragmented. And on the flip side, buyers really like that because they don't have to reach out to 100 different media owner partners or just maybe the top 2 or 3 win. It's where all media owners can win, essentially, as being a part of that, and buyers can win as well because it really aggregates the supply. But buyers still have the choice to choose their favorite media owner partners when they're buying a programmatic out-of-home campaign because it is transparent.
So does it work? Sorry, just extending from what you just said. So like in India, a lot of things work on relationship basis with the media owner. I'm sure in the programmatic way, it's your DSP versus the SSP. So like you just said, the buyers still have a preference. So is it like we are kind of in that zone, even in the programmatic buying?
Yes, I mean, I think I would say that the main thing is it doesn't take away from all the media owners' work that they've done with agencies or with digital agencies as well. So buyers are still able to transact and have that transparent, so they can see every single media owner that's available. Sometimes media owners just might want to be like, okay, I'm just targeting every single billboard in specific locations in Mumbai. But otherwise, they can go down and choose specific media owners that they're working with and that they know that they typically work with, so the relationship can stay intact. Okay. But again, it's very handy for buyers, so it just aggregates everything in one platform.
Understood. And the third question is from Y. Srinivas Raju from Idea Cafe. With rising programmatic buying across globe, what are the frameworks, checks one needs to do in handling and ad frauds and potential ad blocking? So what are the checks that basically needs to be done before there is a programmatic buying done across?
Yeah, so
what are the measures that you have?
Essentially when we're onboarding a media owner, we have a very rigorous process in terms of establishing the media owner, and oftentimes we'll get references. A lot of the times media owners that we're onboarding is because a buyer has asked us to onboard a specific media owner, so we'll reach out to them on behalf of a buyer. So we don't go in blindly when we're approaching a media owner. First, working with a media owner, then the integration steps are very thorough. So looking at individual locations and exactly where they are with lat and longs, and working on their overall audience data approach that has to come from a third-party partner. So there are lots of checks and balances in place. In terms of ad blocking, so that's a great thing about out-of-home. There's no ad blocking available, so that doesn't happen. And in terms of like brand safety environment, I mean, out-of-home is as safe as you can get. And there are other things. So we are working with verification companies as well that, again, add another layer of security for those that want it. So I guess we've done a few integrations into those kind of partners. So it is developing, but yeah, it's all there.
So you have to select one amongst the three?
Okay, I'm just wondering who's going to split the check with me, 1, 2, or 3. Let's go with number 3. That was a good question.
And the name is?
Y. Srinivas Raju from Idea Cafe.
Srinivas Raju from Idea Cafe. Congratulations. We heard the applause. We did. And we can hear it much louder. That's always nice. Congratulations. A special prize from Alak Advertising and Publicity. We've got a memento. Can we please have that brought onto stage right now? Please wait with us. Please wait with us because we've got the memento. Yes, ma'am. Can you do us the honors? Ladies and gentlemen, for taking us through the session.